Hello everybody, Phil here, otherwise known as Mindwipe. I'm here today to basically just shoot the breeze and talk about something I should have done a while ago. In a nutshell, during the recordings of the Abbey Road sessions of Frontier Elite 2's main theme and second theme, I was there present. Anybody who's a Kickstarter backer on that already knows that because they've seen the mugshot of me with my trilby on. No trilby today, by the way. But there was one little memory I remember of that day where Lucy Lowe and her film crew came over to all of us who were sat over there and basically put us on the bloody spot. We were like, oh crap, we didn't expect this coming. Where she asked us what we thought of the day, the session, and stuff like that. Now, in my mind, I had a really nice response, to actually compliment Dave Lowe, etc., etc., etc. It came out as basically saying, it literally came out, it's like, yeah, it was, absolutely fantastic, because there's like camera in your face, big boom mic over your head, it's like, oops. Now I'm in shit. Think, brain, think. And I was kind of put on the bloody spot with that, as well as many of the other guys. Thankfully, one guy, I forget his name, but did speak up and eloquently echoed what we thought of the actual session, and did it very concisely. And we were all going, because basically we were agreeing with him, because we were like, what do we say? There's a camera in our face. Which is unusual for me, because usually pointing the camera at myself, I'm like, yeah, I can't talk, stop talking. What I was hoping to try and say at that session, though, was how much of an inspiration Dave Lowe's music over the years, back from the Spectrum to the, the Amiga, the ST, the Game Gear games, everything that he's done in his gaming, his early days of his gaming career, was a massive influence. Absolute massive influence. It was one of the reasons, not just Dave, I mean, I'm not an idol, I'm not Dave Idol. He's a good friend and I'm really a big fan of his works, but I'm not his acolyte or any stupid shit like that. But I have to say what I was going to say at that day, but it all came out like mumbled garbage, because basically the camera, thrust in face, oh shit, what do you do now? What I was going to say on the day was, Dave's music was a massive inspiration for my own musical endeavors. I was about 5 or 6 when I got Boogie Blast on the ZX Spectrum and Rasputin and stuff like that. And then when the Amiga came along, I fell in love with the machine. I absolutely fell in love with the machine. And then through things like module tracking, the software that was used a lot of, and the music that was coded into the games was quite eloquent. It really sparked my imagination as a young kid to actually start doing music, not only as music in my own endeavors, just for shits and giggles, but also I was like, I could do something with this. I can really do something with this. This is a great way of getting into things. And I followed suit with it. For many years, people turned around and went, nobody's gonna listen to that type of stuff. There's no lyrics. I swear to God, that is actually a true statement that was actually said to me. There's no lyrics in those instrumentals. Nobody's gonna buy that. You heard half the stuff that's actually out in the charts now? Plus, if you've heard any of my SoundCloud stuff, you get an idea. It's quite popular. But that's just tooting my own horn there. But it also took about 20 years for me to actually perfect my skill. But nonetheless, it all goes back to those roots of the early video games on the Spectrum, the C64, the Amiga. I never had an ST, so I can't comment on that particularly, but I'm sure a lot of people probably echo the same sentiment when it came to stuff on that particular system. But video game music, especially with how it was made, how it was coded, was a challenge. And using even tracking software back in the day was a big challenge for everybody, even kids. So you either were very good at it, or you just made some lame thing that ended up on Aminet that people listened to once and then never listened to again. But it all was inspired by the video game composers, that sat there for hours on end coding and spending their time trying to get that really high quality music into a very, very small file space, very small chip. And it worked, and it inspired many a musician who've grown up now to be 38 and beyond and stuff like that, to do wonderful little hobbies or things with their life. Some even gone professional, bless them. So, Dave was a big influence on that, especially in the early days, coming up from the Spectrum and stuff. Other musicians followed suit: Alistair Brimble, Bjorn Lynn, John Hare, Chris Hulsbeck. All have gone on to produce their own wonderful albums, but it all, especially with some of the actual technology and coding styles that allowed this to be done on early 16-bit machines like the Atari ST and the Amiga, allowed kids like me back in the day to start making music without having to spend thousands and thousands of pounds on really expensive music equipment and music lessons. We could just sit at home and make our own tunes up and use our imaginations, and it was a godsend, and we were all, and it's like, oh, I love that tune from Frontier Elite 2 or Beneath the Steel Sky or Turrican or Flashback and things like that. It's like, I want to do something like that, and the tools were there. They didn't actually, in my opinion, think that the music scene in the Amiga would take off. And it didn't really take off commercially that much, but it inspired a lot of programs to come out, like Pro Tracker, Optimed by RBF Software, and a few others. Even tracking software is used today, would you believe, with things like Mad Tracker and a few other. Deli Tracker's still about as well for playing old games, but Mad Tracker's still available. So would you believe it even works on Windows 7 and 8 and 10, and it still lets you do the old tracking scene stuff by importing samples into the program and still make it all work. Why am I telling you all this, you may ask? Well, the one thing is, like I've said in prior videos and stuff like that, Uncle Art's doing this film Kickstarter for the documentary about all of this history. Now, I just gave you a snippet from my own personal history there. Go check out the Uncle Art film Kickstarter, because I'm in it for one thing. You'll see me mumbling like a babbling idiot, unless it hit the cutting room floor, which I don't blame Lucy or the team. But also, because it really gives you an idea of what I was feeling and thought on that day at Abbey Road, because it really brought back not only childhood memories, but what inspired me to do what I do today when it comes to my amateur theatrics, when it's either podcasting or audio work or voice work and stuff like that. It all started with those early video games, and people like Dave Lowe, especially Dave Lowe, were a big inspiration for that. So I'm being really honoured to have helped him out also, because here's another little tidbit for you folks. By the way, let's turn it around. Ooh, there we go. See it? See that machine there? Yeah, let's move my real keyboard out of the way. See that machine there? Still works. That Amiga... Is that showing the Amiga? Yes, it is. That Amiga was used for 2 weeks to actually collate and get from the files the original Dave Lowe format files, some of which were like a mere 165 kilobytes of file size. But inside those 165 kilobytes were nearly 5 to 8 songs at any given time. And he coded that codec himself. And a lot of these Amiga works that were done on this very machine. This machine, by the way, also went to Abbey Road Studios. It was in a rucksack right underneath my feet. It never got used for the Abbey Road obligatory walk across the crosswalk shot, which was a shame. Time, weather, that happens. But it went with me. It was there for that very purpose. And then it was used a month later to do help out with the collective works, which are being given away as part of one of the Kickstarter pledge backing, one of the pledges, as I should say. So, please check out the Uncle Art film Kickstarter. Links in the description. I'll put it in, if I'm putting this on Twitter as well, in the Twitter description. Check it out. Spread the word. There's only about 10 days left to go, and they only need to make, would you believe, only £2,500 more to reach their goal to put this film on screens, and also to give wonderful Blu-rays backing, and also the collective works. And there's a combination of those collective works of Amiga, Atari ST, MT32 PC-DOS, Atari Jaguar. I wonder which one that one is. Moving on. And a few other little tidbits in there as well. So check it out. 10 days to go. What have you got to lose?